And Perez caught out on strikes.
Yeah, backed away from that. He thought that was a ball.
Might have had a little late movement with a pitch that's moving.
Right, but the target thrown to second, it's 10 feet in diameter.
Well, Derek Shelton has been ejected by Dan Bellino, the home plate umpire. I think he's disputing the call here in this pivotal moment of the 6th inning. And he's getting his money's worth.
Yes, he did.
No reading lips.
No.
And that's probably better off for. He's saving his play right there. Probably shouting from the dugout at this stage.
With Rossi.
That one's too high. So from here on out, it'll be a battle of the top 2 bullpens in the majors. Padres 1, Cubs 2. Tied at 1, bottom 5 on Lou Gehrig's day.
Oh, somebody just got tossed.
Did Larry Rothschild just get thrown out?
Larry, yeah.
The former Cub pitching coach.
Down there. And Larry Rothschild obviously had gotten the ear of Scott Berry and got in there a little too deep today.
Well, Aaron Boone has gotten tossed from this game, and now he's walking out to talk to Alan Porter at first base. Just had a word with him now heading to the dugout. So this was moments ago, and he was not happy with Whitson. We saw this coming, and he's pointing to home plate where he thought the bad calls were. So Whitson then throws him out, and Boone gets his money's worth, John.
Well, he gets his money's worth, and we were able to kind of pay attention to this, and there was a lot of conversation about Garrett Cole not getting pitches that Aaron Boone thought he should have been getting compared to Yarborough. And obviously it's been a topic that we've been talking about. It's been noticeable when you watch some of the replays and the pitches that have been off the plate from the lefty that he was getting, and the pitches maybe that Garrett Cole thought he should have been getting as well.
Red Sox got to the starter. Odorizzi knocked him out after 3 innings. That is in there for strike 3.
Uh-oh. Sticking up for his club.
Yep, Alex Cora out. This is all about these strikes.
Yeah, he knows their balls. Alex does. I mean, you don't come out there not thinking, thinking that if he didn't miss, he'd miss more than one. That's the problem here, and then that just sets you over the top. And that may have been a strike, but the other ones were down.
This one a rocket to left center. That'll split the gap. Extra bases again for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here comes the throw to second, not in time.
I think the broadcasters got it right. It was that one pitch at the beginning of the inning that he wanted to strike on that was in the zone that he didn't get, and it just turned into this whole molehill. He just couldn't get over it.
4 1/3 innings. Call to the bullpen has been made. Brent Suter is coming in, and Brett Anderson with some words to say for Edwin Moscoso. Mentioned as he was coming off, he had some words.
As always, the answer to why didn't the umpire just let him go is we have no idea what he said. We just don't.
But also got himself tossed as he was leaving the field.
And a little upset the fact that he didn't get the low strike, and one of the reasons I would imagine why he felt he had to elevate the baseball, and the Diamondbacks hit him hard. 8 hits, only 2 runs though, as Brent Suter takes over.
Called strike 3. The bottom of the zone has dropped out. Yeah, Moncada's right. That was not strike 3, but it was strike 3. It was a 3-1 game, then it wasn't a 3-1 game because of this. Somebody just got ejected from the Sox dugout in a 4-1 lead in the 9th inning. Will Little said unbelievable. Lucas Giolito's.
Was it Lucas who got the heave-ho?
Let's see. Lucas is barking at Will Little. Tony La Russa comes out of the dugout. Was it Lucas Giolito got thrown out of the ball game?
Well, he has one of those looks on his face like, okay, maybe I'll get thrown out of my first game ever.
Did the good kid just get thrown out of class?
We'll have to see.
Okay. Okay, so Liam Hendriks going to try and finish the deal here, but here's a strikeout at the end of the 8th inning. I mean, this is very well low.
Yeah, that one's out of the zone. So Lucas is apoplectic.
And then he got thrown out later.
He appears to be the guy.
Good for you, Lucas.
1-2 coming. On the inside corner, Melanson got him looking, and McCann is hot. And he's been thrown out of the game. This is the first time we've seen James McCann snap like this since coming to the Mets. Fastball inside that cleared it, was a bit off the plate. Quinn Walcott punches him out, and now Luis Rojas has been ejected as well.
Boy, Rojas is not only pointing at the home plate umpire, but he's pointing to some umpires on the field too. That's one of the rare pitches that Melanson will throw, that cutter inside to a righty to get a big strikeout. I thought it was in. Proper beef for McCann. Never got there.
Jurickson Profar, who's 0 for 3 tonight. They're starting to get it going now as Lugo gets the inside corner for a strike. And the curveball from Lugo drops in for a strike. And it's 0-2 to Profar. Yep, that's that high spin curveball you heard about, Jurickson. Even though 1-2 to Profar. Curveball bounced up the first baseline, foul. And Profar able to lay off the curveball, and it's 2-2. And he yanks that one foul. And he yanks that one foul. Slider running in. Tried that last year. On the inside corner, he got him with a fastball. And Profar's been ejected from the game. Slamming his bat down, and Hunter Wendelstedt immediately ran him. Looked like a good call by Hunter for the first out in the bottom of the 8th.
I don't know what he's arguing about. The ball catches a lot of that inside corner. He kept looking away because of the breaking ball, and that probably felt like it was inside, but come on. Hunter Wendelstedt, go sit down.
Like the little back of the hand there from Hunter.
Whatever.
You know, the game has become, because of all the technology and the ability to see where every pitch is, guys are hooting and hollering at umpires probably more now than ever.
What's going to happen when they replace them with the robots? There'll be nobody to yell at.
Man, gone. No, says Hunter Wendelstedt. That's ball 4. And Smith aboard to begin things in the 2nd inning.
Oh, we got some chirping going on. Let's take a look first.
Here comes Chase Tingler out of the dugout. And Chip Gibson, very aggressive, will toss in. Wow. Jay said something, and Chip Gibson started walking right towards the dugout, and then Jays came out and he kind of got like in his face. I mean, very aggressive. Yeah. It appeared visually to have an umpire do that.
Yeah, and once again, you know, we don't know what was said.
Right.
Whatever what was said really triggered him, because like you said, Donnie, you described it perfectly. He was off with the mask and making his way over towards the Padres dugout.
So Tingler has been ejected today for early in this one, 2nd inning. They'll take it to the clubhouse. Skip Schumacher will be handling the game.
As far as mentally and physically, because, you know.
Jeffers takes one outside, 1 ball and 1 strike, I tell you. But it was really funny. I was listening to our manager Mike Matheny every single Sunday. He goes on with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden on Sirius on MLB.com for 15 minutes, and every single week they ask him about Bobby Witt Jr.
Uh-oh, somebody got tossed. Yeah. It was Astudillo, you know, he's a really difficult guy to strike out. The only way, you know, he's going to strike out is if he gets a call on him, and I think they're not happy with Jeff Nelson's call 3rd strike on him, so they've been continuing to chew on Jeff Nelson, and he had enough. it is.
We have not yet been told who has been tossed from that Minnesota dugout.
Well, you know, it's hard when there's 5 or 6 guys in there and they're all chirping something for an umpire to be able to pick out whose it is.
So the official score didn't know who got tossed either, so they guessed that it was Rocco Baldelli, except that Rocco was in the Twins dugout for the entire game. So, when in doubt, ask Rex Hudler.
It was hitting coach Edward Varilla that got tossed. Oh, excuse me, Edgar Varilla. If anybody's wondering who got thrown. Oh,
and there's a shot, but it's caught on the line drive.
Winning run at third. The 3-2. Oh, my goodness. Barnes gets a call on a curveball to send this game into extra innings. Wow. Well, it's the call that sent this game into extra innings. Matt Barnes' curveball that, according to home plate umpire Gabe Morales, picked up the outside corner. Phil Nevin came out of the Yankee dugout immediately to take issue with the call and was ejected. And, you know, Aaron Boone's concern for Phil Nevin is twofold here. First of all, he wants to save him from really getting into any further trouble arguing the call. But Phil just got back into uniform recently after complications after a COVID diagnosis that were pretty serious.
Watching the video room and from the dugout.
Yeah. From the dugout, you can see.
It looks like Bill Miller, the second base umpire and crew chief, has just run somebody else from the. Is it Marcus Thames that just got? I believe he just got thrown out of the game as well. The Yankee hitting coach has been ejected. But Marcus isn't going to leave without at least something to say.
I have a hard time with how Bill Miller from all the way behind second base can recognize what Marcus Thames is saying, right? I mean, that's a tough call. When you have everybody screaming and you pick out one guy.
And now Aaron Boone is going to deliver the news. Marcus hadn't left the bench yet. And now the Yankees are doing, I'm Spartacus, I'm Spartacus, I'm Spartacus. Booney says, tell me exactly who has to leave now. Is it Carlos Mendoza that got run? I don't know.
And Mendoza, guys, is the Yankees' second string third base coach.
Yeah, they're running out of depth at third base coach. Marcus Thames can stay. Carlos Mendoza has to go.
Right before the season, Yuli fouls one off his foot.
I think they called him out. I think they said that ball was in play. That's going to end up being a double play.
What?
The umpire pointed towards fair territory. Home plate umpire.
Oh, Jordan, who went down to second, thought there was a dead ball, as did we. We thought that was fouled off of Yuli at the plate. But Sean Barber just tossed Dusty Baker. He claims the ball was in fair territory. Did he give the fair signal, though?
He eventually pointed with his mask towards the center of the field, which means ball is in play.
Well, Dusty's been tossed. A frustrating night for the Astros. Boston leading 12-8. 7th inning stretch time here at Fenway Park.
Reds up 4-3, but their manager is gone. David Bell erupted at home plate man Marvin Hudson. Now, was it all about this? I don't know. Jesse Winker thought foul tip. Bell definitely came out at first to argue about that. But I also wonder how much might have been holding over about the late asks of time with Wade Miley pitching and the pitch that didn't count from last inning and the build of that effect as well in the game.
See, the point is if you swing and it hits you, it's a strike. And I'm sure that's what Brandon is saying. So he can come out and say, okay, did he swing or not? And I don't know if they're going to go actually talk about it or maybe not.
And now here comes Brandon out toward first. And he's going to talk to Nestor Seja, the first base umpire. And he's going to talk quite vividly to Nestor. Question is, was this a swing or not?
Probably not there.
Hard
to tell.
Probably not there, but it's a tough angle.
Yeah.
But Brandon Hyde has been ejected.
Went down to get it. 1-2 pitch to Arroyo. That is in there for strike 3. Arroyo again upset and letting Jim Wolf hear it. And he's thrown out.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know that was coming.
Because he knows he missed it. He knows he missed it the time before. They know it. And then he throws them out. I don't know if he said something or not. But he knows that he probably was not happy, and he was waiting for him to show him up. And
A lot of.
And he walked him.
I think you see Gary Sanchez there. I mean, that's 2 pitches in 1 count. Both of them right on the edge of the strike zone, but got neither.
Didn't get the top of the zone, okay, but then he didn't get the bottom of the zone either, and it's sort of like in and out, except top bottom you actually can see from the side, from the dugout. And so Boone, who's complaining now, saying a bunch of profanity, and that's a BS excuse, whatever. Didn't give me high, you didn't give me low either. One of those 2 pitches has to be a strike.
And there he goes. Oh, you saw that coming. He kept looking over. Aaron kept going and finally gets tossed.
One fell swoop, Boone is back to being ejected by AAA umpires over balls and strikes. Remember the last time that happened? This fan does. It was going to show. MLB had to put out a memo saying stop doing that. It was just a whole stupid thing. But the broadcasters are going to come up with something here, and I want you to listen to it because there's some logic to it.
Well, it was not only this pitch, but the pitch before. Both of them show in the box, and I think, and I actually love this to see Aaron Boone. I mean, he talked about it before the Buffalo series with the Blue Jays, that there is a little sense of urgency here. And, you know, if you're a manager and you're seeing pitches, you know, this is a big game.
Towering 417-foot shot. There's a line drive down the left field line. And this one is out of here. Just got out. A laser. He hit your 1-iron, Jim Palmer. The laser. That's hit well. DJ Stewart. He hardly left the box. He knew he got all of that.
Was that a long way?
Noah, who had given up 3 home runs total in his first 4 starts, has given up 4 already this afternoon. And now he hits Maikel Franco, who is not pleased. And I hope Manoah's saying I didn't mean it. And now the benches are going to clear. I mean, Manoah, you know, his back was to us, so we couldn't see what his face looked like.
Brandon Hyde trying to hold his guys back. Now here come the bullpens.
Well, you just don't want guys getting suspended. That's all.
Back-to-back home runs, and then you get drilled. Pretty suspicious. Brandon Hyde trying to be a peacemaker. Now here come the bullpen guys. Not much happening, just some back and forth.
Well, and the only reason you're out here is because you got a young pitcher that, tell you what, you threw them. You know, the major league hitters are getting paid to hit home runs. If you're going to be bad, if you're going to throw balls down the middle.
2 skippers yelling at each other. Montoya and Hyde having words. Look at Brandon Hyde. He's agitated.
Well, one of his guys just got drilled. Now, and there's no way that Charlie Montoya can defend this. Because if you're managing a young team like he is, You don't want your guys getting thrown at after they hit a home run. Yeah. So.
Well, what did Earl always say? We didn't want to get involved in this. Our guys are better than their guys, right?
Well, and it's not the case here. It's just a young pitcher that lost his cool because it's you.
Well, Jim, what I didn't like, Franco kind of froze at the plate and stared out, and then Manaea came charging toward the plate like, let's go.
Well, like you know, like I didn't mean to do that. Come on. Whether you did or not, you did. But you start hitting phone at everybody that hit home runs. I never understood why the bullpens just didn't have a fight out in left field. You know, they have to run all the way into.
Let's just meet out in center field and save the space.
I mean, if you think at age 23 that you're just going to drill guys when you make mistakes and hitters hit home runs.
Now the umpires are meeting, Jim, and that conversation is, are they going to issue warnings?
Well,
right?
There should be a warning, but you know that.
But do they go both ways?
Well, it does. And that. Michael Franco has been around the block long enough to know, and when guys are taking batting practice.
I think McGuire did his thing. He checks the hitter. He's not going out. He looked, but meanwhile, Manaea was coming down the mound like he had business to do. Yeah, peacekeeper. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hard to hold 26 of them back, though.
Yeah. No, well, he doesn't want anybody getting a suspension or whatever. I don't think they threw him out because you can never.
Oh yeah,
maybe they did.
He's been ejected.
Well, I don't like this either.
Yeah,
you
but
can't read minds. You. Yeah.
He's gone. Now, did it happen? Was it the pitch or something after?
Nope. I think they just thought that he threw at him.
They appeal, and he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts by Diaz. And Votto not too pleased with it.
No, but he did. I mean, the reality is he went. You know, you got to do.
And now Votto and David Bell are out. This has been a season for Votto showing a lot more emotion than he has historically, and Bell is no stranger from getting run himself. Votto will not leave the field. A short day for Joey Votto.
They're going to check Max here in the middle of an inning.
Oh, anything to try to throw somebody off their game, and Davey rightfully coming out to protect his guy to see what's going on here. Max
what did they expect? Max drops his hat, and Carlos Torres is going to get mad at him. This is in the middle of an inning after you struck a guy out. And it was initiated by the other manager. If I'm Davey, I'm not standing for this at all. And now Girardi's going to come out and become a bigger part of it.
Well, I love how Davey's coming out to protect his guy here. Girardi's trying to find anything to get Max off his game, but honestly, I think it's only going to fire him up more and going to make him better.
I mean, if they allow this to happen,
well, there goes
you could have a guy throwing a no-hitter, and a manager could come out and have him checked in the ninth inning.
Yeah, and there goes your pace of play that the league has worked so hard to maintain.
We are told that Max has already been checked twice tonight before this. After the first inning, he was checked again after the third inning. And then Carlos Torres seemed upset when Max just took his ball cap off and dropped it on the ground. Struck him out on a fastball up and in. We wondered if something might happen with Max walking off. Not sure if he's gazing at the umpire or all the way over to the Phillies dugout. But watch what he does when he gets into the Nationals dugout. Joe Girardi up to the top step to have his look over the other way. Girardi's hot.
Well, Well, you know he was staring right at him.
He's daring Max to come on over and get into it. Now Max says, look, hey, I'm clean. Look at me, my hands, my ball cap, I'm clean.
He's like, here, you can have it. You can check for yourself. And I think Girardi got tossed during that whole sequence coming out on the field like that. Tim Timmons threw him out of the game.
About trying to match up tomorrow through Bob Melvin with Jake Diekman. Well, and here's the situation to Dallas. Petit, 26 pitches. That's a little bit of a concern for tomorrow. Well, especially when you're talking about guys who you typically see. Murphy not happy with Lance Barrett. And the last pitch was very, very close. And what you can see Bob Melvin doing is politicking. He's saying, look, he's frustrated right now because he feels like we have no calls kind of going our way. And we've seen a couple balls that could have been called strikes. He threw them out. And you can see Bo Mel saying, I'm making a legitimate argument here.
But you also left the dugout, and now you're arguing balls and strikes. That's ejectable. But whenever a claim is made, they're getting the pitches, that we're not getting the calls, they're getting them, we can do a fact check. Let's look at Lance Barrett's game and see what the skew was. And the skew was +4 in favor of Oakland. So the fact check doesn't actually help Oakland's cause here.
You walked around and got in his face. That's what he just said, which is true. Absolutely true. We'll see it right here. Here's the pitch, and it certainly could be a strike.
And that's why at the beginning of the video I said, remember this pitch location, consistency.
Well, and what you take a look at, if you value that little box and you see the ball, that's going to light it up.
Oakland will want the call, but San Francisco.
And now they're loaded.
That'll bring out Scott Service.
Because of the restarted game, that's why the pitching situation is so wacky. So Santiago comes out, and he is subject to the exit inspection for pitchers.
It was rolling right along, and things kind of fell apart for him here in this inning.
Well, it happens quickly, too. Got a 1-1 ball game. Want to try to keep it here. JT Chagua will take over. Step aside for a moment. 1-1 game in the 5th. The obligatory check.
Take a mental note. Ripperger is looking at the glove.
During the break, doesn't look good.
Phil Cuzzy has Santiago's glove in his hand. He didn't like something about it, so Scott Service came out. They've been going back and forth on it for a while now. It appears that they're going to hang on to that glove.
Brother.
What? Yeah. They found something on that glove. I'm not sure what it is. Santiago looks stunned by it.
So remember the second from disaster, critical chain of events motif? So many things went wacky in this. Santiago is pitching only a few innings, quick hook because it's a resumed game, not a starting. So that's why he's subject to the different inspection rules upon leaving the mound, not starter rules. Plus, you have a crew chief, Tom Hallion, who is not on the field because this is a resumed game, so it's a double header, which means Hallion, who has the plate for game 2, is not working this game. Phil Cuzzy is the acting crew chief. That means Mark Ripperger comes in to assist with the inspection as the next senior umpire on the crew. Paul Clemens is added to the crew to round it out. Phil Cuzzy's the crew chief, gets credit for the ejection.
And hearing it from the dugout is Hunter Wintelstead. Takes his mask off and barks back and has ejected somebody. I don't know who he got. It was Jace Tingler. I don't know if it was him who was ejected. Somebody's been tossed. Hosmer. So it was Hosmer who was tossed.
Yeah, that's the third pitch of last inning that he's still mad about.
The shift on against Yelich. 1-2 pitch. Yelich takes a call at strike 3. Inning over. Beg your pardon. Second out.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the strike zone. That's a big strikeout for Nance. It had the plate right at the knees. Got the call. Who got thrown out?
Somebody did. And I think Andy Haynes trying to beat Craig Counsell out there. The hitting coach was a hook by the home plate umpire. And I'm guessing by this it was Haynes.
Yeah, he's upset. You don't see this very often from the Brewers hitting coach. He's about as mild-mannered as it gets.
Sticking up for his guy that he's known since his minor league days, Christian Yelich, as Haynes will exit.
Well, you'd much rather have a coach get thrown out than a player.
Okay. That's not good for the pitcher so far. Brent Strom going out there to talk to Luis Garcia. I may be curious to see if Stromy says something on his way back.
Subtle conversation with CB going, you got to help my boy out, man.
There you go.
The veteran pitching coach saying, my guy is out here competing. I need you to compete too and figure out where that strike zone is. And
there goes
Stromy didn't want to have it from CB Buckner.
Well, we just showed you where those 7 pitches were. So Stromy's got a case.
Absolutely.
Those were all over the plate. Brent Strom has been ejected from this game. He wanted to talk to Luis Garcia, but there was a secondary discussion he wanted to have.
He wanted to come out and tell Luis, you look great. I'm going to wait right here until CB comes out. I'm just impressed with how quickly it happened for Brent Strom. He's usually a very articulate, humble man, but when he's out there defending his pitchers, he's going to let somebody have it, and I feel like he really got after the umpire.